This lesson is on solving multi-step equations. So let's go ahead and talk about algebra tile pieces that we'll be using. So we're going to use the yellow one that will represent the number, a green one that will represent x, and both the yellow and the green will represent positive number and positive x. If they are negative, then they will be red color for the number and also red color for the x. So here are the rules for solving multi-step equations. Rule number 1 is to combine like terms of the variables and numbers on the same side. Rule number 2 is to separate the variable and numbers on the opposite side of the equal sign. Rule number 3 is to solve for x. Let's go ahead and do example 1. Example 1 is 4x minus x plus 2 is equal to 17. So as you can see, we have rule number 1, which says to combine like terms on the same side of the equal sign. So both of these are x's, as we can physically see that these are x's right here. I can combine them. We are using the zeroing out where we have a negative and a positive was equal to 0 right here. So that will leave us then a 3 right there. And we still have is a plus 2, and we still have 17 on this side of the equal sign. So now rule number 2 says bring the numbers and variables on the opposite side of the equal sign. So since all my variables are on this side, we're going to go ahead and take these two and have them join the other side of the equal sign. Let's go ahead and bring them over. And if I cross anything over on the equal sign, that becomes a negative. So now it becomes a minus 2, and then we're going to go ahead and zero out. So zeroing out right there will give us 15. Take the 15, and now we're going to group them so that each of the three x's will have the equal amount. So if we do that, we're going to go ahead and sort them out. And so then x is equal to 5. Okay, example 2, 2x plus 4x minus 9 is equal to 15. So again, I can combine like terms right here because I can see physically that these are all green. So that's going to leave me then 6x minus 9 is equal to 15. So since all the numbers are on this side right here, and I can see that I have variables on this side, these negative 9 or minus 9 will have to come to the other side of the equal sign. I bring that over to the other side of the equal sign, they will now become plus 9. And so I can combine 15 and 9, giving me 24. Let's take the 24 and group them into the 6x pieces. So if I sort them out again, now x is equal to 4. Example 3, we have a fraction involved. So we have is 3/4 x minus 1/2 x minus 5 is equal to 7. Let's go ahead and bring the 5 over to the other side of the equal sign because that's easier, and then we'll deal with a fraction. So let's go ahead and bring that over. If I bring the minus 5 over to the other side, the opposite of the equal sign will then become plus. So now 7 plus 5 will then give us 12. Okay, now let's deal with the fraction. So we have is 3/4x minus 1 over 2x. Common denominator between 4 and 2 will have to be 4. So this half right here has to change. To make the 2 into a 4, I have to multiply by 2. So I will have to multiply by 2 on the numerator and 2 on the denominator as well. So that's going to look something like this now. We have is now 3 over 4x minus 2 over 4x is equal to 12. So if I subtract the numerator, the 3 minus 2, that will give me 1, and the common denominator is 4 right here. So I will have is 1 over 4x. So let's go ahead and show that 1 over 4x right there. Now again, this is 1/4 of an x, and we need to get 1x. So if I multiply by 2, then I need to multiply by 2 on the right-hand side. So with the 12, that's going to double right there. If I multiply by 3, that's going to also now multiply by 3 on the right-hand side. Multiply by 4, then we're going to get x equals 48. Last example, example 4. We have is 5x minus 4 equals 3x plus 12. Now in this case, notice that the variables and the numbers are not on the same side of the equal sign, so you cannot simplify it. So we're going to have to bring things over to the other side of the equal sign. It doesn't matter which side you bring the x and which side you bring the number, because eventually what's going to happen is if you ever get a negative number, then you will have to flip it. So it doesn't really matter. But I can see my 5x is a bigger number compared to the 3x, so I'm going to have the 3x come to the 5x side. So if I bring it over on the other side right here, what I have to do is the opposite sign, so I would have to subtract 3x right there. So if I subtract 3x, that's going to give me the red tiles right there. And let's go ahead and now combine them. So if I subtract 3x from 5x, that's going to give me 2x. So this is going to be the zeroing out. So each of these red tiles right here will pair up with the green right here to give a 0. This is going to be a 0, and then this is going to be a 0. So you're going to be left with is the 2x right here. So now math right there is going to be the 2x. We still have is the minus 4 equals 12. Now let's go ahead and bring the minus 4 over to the other side of the equal sign. Okay, now it's the opposite sign, so we're going to have to make it a positive. So now it becomes 16. Now we have this 2x is equal to 16. So we're going to divide the 16 into two parts so that each will get even amount. And so x is equal to 8. Okay, so that is the lesson for solving multiple steps equation.